Now, as people, we all really just want to be understood, but unfortunately, we're all trapped in our own subjectivity. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, let's make some coffee and talk about it. This is like it's a very interesting concept here. I really first thought about this in college in a philosophy class and got brought up, and since then it's kind of always been on my mind. But basically what it means is that each of us have our own unique, essentially, perspective. We all look at life through our own eyes. We all have unique experiences that have built us, different childhood experiences, different genetics, different all kinds of things, right? It's unique. It's very unique. And being trapped in your subjectivity really just means that you only see the world through your own eyes. And because you only see the world through your own eyes, you don't see it through other people's eyes, which it seems obvious, so roll with me here. So you only see it through your eyes, they only see it through theirs, and because of that, we all constantly feel the need to be understood. We constantly feel the desire to connect with people because we want to know we're not alone. We want to know somebody else that shares the experience. That's exactly why when we find people who like similar things to us, we get all excited, right? Because we have something we share. There's some connection. We're trapped over here in our subjectivity, they're trapped over here in their subjectivity, and here's this thing that connects us, right? We can't actually reach each other, but we can reach that thing in the middle. We can both feel something towards that thing in the middle. This is why we love sharing music and art and poetry, and this is why it feels kind of crappy when you share something that you really like and the other person's kind of like, okay, right? Because they didn't connect with it. And that's your internal desire to be understood and to feel connected, and they let you down because they just don't identify with it the same, which just happens. It just happens. But so when you think like that, right, when you realize that we're all stuck in our own subjectivity, it kind of makes you hopefully pause and reflect on other people, and it kind of explains a lot of other people's behaviors and maybe some of the interactions you've had, right? If you view it through that lens of, okay, they were probably looking to connect in one way or another, but maybe they're a poor communicator. That happens a lot, right? I mean, it happens in relationships all the time. We're poor communicators, and so we're trying to make somebody who, this is even harder because we're trying to make somebody who we really love and care about, and we're already sharing so much of our life with them, and we really want them to understand something, but they're not because they're trapped in their subjectivity, and maybe we suck at communicating. Maybe we're bad with words, or we're bad with our emotions and words, and so suddenly we're just not able to get out what we want to get out and say what we want to say, and now we're fighting because we both care, we both feel misunderstood. And it kind of feels like at the root of so many of our problems as people and just as humans is this whole, we're stuck. We're stuck in our box. We're stuck in our own minds, and we only have so many ways to communicate out. And it's almost like if we could just, like, have you ever said that, right? It's like, I wish I could just take what's in my mind and put it in yours so you could know exactly what I mean, or you could see exactly what I'm saying, and we just can't. We just can't. But again, understanding that hopefully gives you some perspective into other people, and maybe gives you some patience to realize that when you're trying to communicate things out, or when you're looking to relate to somebody, sometimes you got to say it like very directly, or you got to be more blunt, right? People can't read your minds, and not only can they not read your minds, but even when you say things and you think you're being clear, right? How many times have you been misunderstood even when you've said something as clear as you thought you could? Why? Because the other person's stuck in their world, and they can only see that thing that you said through what that means to them, right? So even words sometimes aren't enough, and it's just like this fascinating, like, there's no real solution to it. In fact, there is no solution to it. I think it's funny. It's almost like when people talk about atoms and they talk about quantum mechanics and stuff, and you get this whole idea that like you can never touch anything, like you can't actually touch anything because like the fields of energy, and I'm not a quantum mechanist, so just bear with, but like the fields can't actually get, like the atoms can't actually touch, right? Because it's the atom, and then it's got the universe of the electron, or the orbit of the electrons, and they can't actually touch, right? They just kind of like bond, but the nucleus of the atom doesn't bond, right? It's the electrons, so you're not actually touching anything. And I think that's so I don't know what the word is, but that combined with this whole idea of subject, it's just like it's the same thing, right? It's like you can get so close, but we'll spend our entire lives still stuck within our own minds. And I think that also it speaks to the reason that we need to remain like ourselves. Going back to relationships in particular, I don't know why I'm thinking about relationships right now, but I am. How many times do you see people who kind of morph into one? And sometimes it's a sign that, again, maybe they really do understand each other, but there's also like this beauty to your subjectivity, right? There's this that's your uniqueness. Your uniqueness is the subjectivity. It's your unique perspective. It's your unique way of seeing the world. And it's something that it's almost like you have to cherish that and then respect other people's versions of that. It's not that being trapped in your subjectivity is. It's your uniqueness. It's your desire to constantly connect with people. And it's something to both be appreciated and respected. And it's something that should encourage us all to be patient when we're trying to connect with other people. But also, like be purposeful when we try to connect with other people and share something. And maybe even makes us want to get better with words, because even words are our best method of sharing our experience with other people sometimes just isn't enough. So just remember that, and I don't know, it's something I've taken with me for years now, but it's just it's an interesting thing to think about. So I'm going to go enjoy this coffee now. You have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.